Today, we are in the fastest growing city, not just in Florida, but in the entire United States.
Now, when you think of a booming Florida city, a massive coastal metropolis may come to mind, but this city that everybody's moving to is probably not what you'd expect. And while residents may be flocking here by the thousands, most tourists drive right by it on their way to Disney or the beaches.
But in this video, we're going to show you why Ocala is not at all what we expected, but is absolutely worth visiting.
Now, Ocala is located about 80 miles northwest of Orlando and 100 miles northeast of Tampa. And while it may be a bit of a drive from those beautiful Florida beaches that we love to take you to on this channel, its relative affordability and central location have helped it to rank at the top of U-Haul's growth index for 3 of the last 4 years, and also at the top of the U.S. Census Bureau's growth list.
Ocala is also known as the horse capital of the world, and we are going to show you a peek inside that scene later in this video, but we're also going to be taking you out onto crystal clear waters and deep into the Florida swamp in search of a legendary colony of monkeys, and we may even go flying through a hidden canyon. This one looks really scary.
And of course, we're also going to be taking you to some of the best food and drink spots to fuel up along the way. Now, we have a whole lot to show you here in Ocala and only 48 hours to fit it all in, so we better get going. We just finished our breakfast at Brick and Iron, and we chose that place because it's really highly rated, but it's not what we expected. It's connected to a gym and it's quite small, and you actually order your food by grabbing a menu off the wall and writing on it with a marker. We started off with a couple of lattes. They do have quite a few different homemade syrups. I went with the vanilla syrup and Jamie went with the cashew butter. Both of those syrups did taste good, but neither were overly sweet, which we did really enjoy because it allowed you to really taste the flavor of the coffee.
For breakfast, we got one of their fresh fruit bowls and a croffle, which is a croissant that is made in a waffle iron, and we love that everything there is so customizable. So even though my croffle looked like it was a big dessert, it actually wasn't sweet at all. We had it topped with their homemade cashew butter as well as their whipped cream, and for the bowl we went with their blueberry lavender lemon base, and it was filled with a bunch of toppings because there were so many to choose from. It was a great way to start our day off here in Ocala, and we would recommend that place to anyone, especially if you're looking for healthy, vegetarian, or vegan options in the area.
Now, Brick and Iron is located right here in downtown Ocala, which has earned the nickname the Brick City because on Thanksgiving Day of 1883, a massive fire actually took out 5 blocks of this downtown area. Now, to make sure that that would never happen again, the city made a requirement that all of the newly constructed buildings had to be made out of fireproof material, which is why you see all of these beautiful old brick buildings today, which in our opinion gives Ocala a really cool and unique vibe and helps set it apart from the downtowns and other larger cities here in Florida.
We just noticed there's horseshoes in the sidewalks on this block. Just a short drive or walk north of downtown is the Tuscaloosa Art Park, which is home to several sculptures. It also has paths for walking, and it's right next to a lake. It also has several railroad tracks nearby, and we know at least one of them is active because we were stopped by a train in downtown Ocala. And actually, it looks like there's another one coming right now.
Now, in addition to being a really nice place just to come in and relax and go for a walk, we learned that this park also holds a few different festivals each year, including a sculpture festival and a sidewalk art festival. You could definitely spend a lot of time just checking out the art scene here in downtown Ocala, but our next couple of stops are actually going to be taking us outside of downtown, and then we'll be coming back downtown later tonight.
So we decided to eat at Frida's because it recently opened and it had really good reviews, plus the photos online looked really cool, and so far this place has delivered. Not only do they have brightly colored murals everywhere, but many of them are 3D and some of them even move. Now the server did start us off with some chips and salsa. The chips are thin and crispy and the salsa has good flavor and just a little bit of a kick. Now their menu is huge here, so it was really hard to decide what to order, but ultimately we agreed on tableside fresh guacamole, as well as something that we think translates into a tower of seafood.
Now, I don't know if I've ever been to a restaurant that I would rate 10 out of 10 for both the food and the atmosphere, but Frida's comes pretty close. We both agreed this was the coolest looking Mexican restaurant that we've ever been to, and we both loved the food too. The salsa and the guacamole were super fresh, and we both thought the seafood tower was delicious as well. The octopus was a little bit on the chewy side, and Jamie didn't like that, but it didn't bother me at all, so I was happy to eat more of that and let her have more of the fish and shrimp.
After all that food, we do need to get out and get some exercise, but first we're gonna stop by our hotel and change our clothes because it's only a couple miles away. And while we're there, we'll show you where we're staying for this trip.
So we ended up booking the Best Western in Park Center, which is about 5 miles southwest of downtown Ocala. It cost us right around $100 per night, which we thought was a pretty good deal for the place.
Now this place may not be fancy, but our room was clean. We slept really well in this bed last night. Plus it offers complimentary breakfast and parking and has a pool and hot tub. When packing to stay here for 2 days, I was actually able to bring way more than usual and probably way more than I needed because I was able to use these brand new Sato packing cubes that can compress clothes up to 50%. Now I have never been one just to throw all of my things into a bag and head out the door. It makes me feel more calm and relaxed when all of my things are organized. So when I heard that Nomad Lane had designed packing cubes, I could not wait to give them a try. They're made with a premium stretch material that expands when you need it and has an easy pull zipper system for quick packing and unpacking. There's one zipper to access all your things and another for compression. While these cubes can be used inside any bag or suitcase, they are designed to fit perfectly inside your Nomad Lane bento bag to not waste any space. Plus, there's still room to pack toiletries and electronics in the top pouches, and I was able to put the third cube in my origami tote. If you or someone you know loves to be organized when traveling, then go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the video description to shop all of Nomad Lane's bags and their brand new Sato packing cubes. We do have to thank them for sponsoring this episode. Next, I'm going to change and meet you at our next spot.
Now, Ocala is known for being a bit of a nature lover's paradise here in Florida. Not only does it border along the massive Ocala National Forest, but it also borders on Silver Springs State Park, which we will be taking you to tomorrow. But perhaps the ultimate jumping off point for exploring the Florida wilderness here in the Ocala area is right here at the, what's it called again? Is right here at the Baseline Road trailhead to the Marshall Swamp Trail. Now what's really cool about this trailhead is that it starts off as a nice paved loop trail, but from my research, eventually I think it becomes unpaved and ultimately connects with both the Cross Florida Greenway and the Florida Scenic Trail. Supposedly you can spot bears out on those trails on occasion, and also even sometimes wild monkeys. We'll tell you a little bit more about that once we get out on the trail.
The one previously said pecan.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one would have taken us off that way.
Right. So now this one though, is this here at 3?
I just don't think it's realistic for us to get all the way up here.
No, just keep following this. Like as long as we keep moving.
Keep moving to where?
So we've made it to the point where I believe we're supposed to exit off the paved trail onto this unpaved trail if we want to go into the Marshall Swamp. Now the signs are a little bit confusing, so we're not 100% this is the right trail, so wish us luck.
Right now I'm just walking my bike. This is so pretty, and there's a little tree down here. Well, big branch. Skylar is lifting our bikes over this branch so we can continue on a bit. All right, up and over. All right, made it. Yeah, this is very pretty. It's hard to keep an eye out for monkeys though, because you got to keep your eye on the trail.
We've only been riding on the unpaved portion of this trail for a few minutes, but it has been so beautiful. I describe most of it as just a really lush forest, but I think it's safe to say we've reached the swamp portion of the trail because this behind me definitely looks like a cypress swamp. But we're already starting to notice that there's quite a few more bugs here in the swamp, so we got to keep moving. So bad news, guys. I think our swamp ride is going to be cut a little bit short today because, as you can probably see, this bridge is out of service. Now, it has been a really dry winter, so there isn't much water under that bridge. I think if we really wanted to, we could probably get through this area, but we'd get super muddy in the process. Plus, the bugs are really bad in this area, and we did forget to pack our bug spray, so I think we're going to turn back and at least try to get out of the swamp and away from these bugs.
We're back to the area that Skylar has to lift our bikes over. You got this. Yeah.
All right, time for you to do yours. Just kidding.
I can get it partially.
I got it.
Oh! I'm just gonna walk my bike through this area. I almost fell over trying to get over this big rut over here. Here we go. Oh, Skylar's been hearing a lot of animals scurrying around, but we haven't seen anything yet. We have made it back to the beginning of the Marshall Swamp Trail, and we both agreed that we'll have to come back to explore more of this. We hope that they get that bridge fixed, and next time we won't forget our bug spray in the car. And another reason we'd want to come back is to have more time to look for those monkeys that Skylar mentioned. And those are Rhesus macaque monkeys. They are native to Asia, but they came over here because a tour boat operator in the 1930s put them on an island in Silver Springs as part of an attraction for his jungle cruise. He didn't know that they could swim though, so he thought they were going to stay on the island, but instead they swam across the water, and they've been living in this area and reproducing ever since. There's supposedly around 300 to 400 in this area. We will have another opportunity to try to spot them tomorrow, but for now we got to get back to that trailhead.
So after packing up our bikes, we decided to head back downtown because there's a brewery I've been wanting to check out. And it turns out it's actually right across the street from the park we were at earlier. We drove right by it and didn't even notice. It's called Infinite Ale Works. It's known for its Belgian beers, and I love Belgian beers, so I am excited to get in there.
So we learned this brewery recently relocated to this place in Midtown Station, and it's here where you can find a bunch of other businesses as well, including an old-fashioned soda shop, a coffee shop, their own kitchen, and a pizza shop.
Now, I was really happy to find that they did have a Belgian quad on tap. This is called the West Florida Christmas, and it's pretty fitting that I'm drinking it tonight because we are in the midst of yet another Florida cold snap. I think the temperature is in the low 50s right now, but might get down into the upper 30s tonight. Now, this beer is definitely not a traditional Belgian quad. It's a little bit sweeter. It has a lot of spices in it. I definitely taste some cinnamon, maybe some nutmeg, probably some other Christmas spices as well. But that being said, I absolutely love it. It is a perfect cold weather beer.
I was able to order a blackberry lime mocktail. It was sweet and sour, and it's almost gone, so that means it's time to get dinner.
Our dinner spot brings us here to Harry's, which is a seafood and Cajun restaurant located in the historic Marion Building, which was constructed way back in 1885, just a couple of years after that fire burned through downtown Ocala. Now, this place is already off to a great start because before we even had a chance to order, they brought out some super fresh bread with a whipped spread. It seems kind of like a mixture of butter and sour cream with garlic, and it is fantastic.
Our food just arrived and it looks amazing. Now, Skylar knew what he was going to order before he walked through the door, and that was the crawfish etouffee. Now, it took me a little while to decide because I do have quite a big menu, but I finally settled on the chicken Jolie Blanc at the recommendation of our server. It's grilled chicken with a cream sauce on top of a crispy grit cake.
Now, this definitely passes the eye test. It appears to be loaded with crawfish and the portion size is huge, but we'll see how it tastes. Wow. Now, that etouffee has a kick, definitely spicier than most others I've had, but I like it. Also, the crawfish is super tender, it's rich, it's flavorful, overall amazing.
The sauce on that chicken is super thick and creamy, and it has a little bit of a peppery kick to it. I do really like it. And that crispy grit cake is a really unique way to have grits. It's crispy on the outside, but still soft in the middle. And I also have to mention that corn side is a little bit creamy and has peppers, onions, and bacon in it.
Now, I'm definitely a little bit biased towards Cajun food because it's probably my favorite type of food, but Harry's still managed to exceed my expectations. That etouffee was just loaded with crawfish, and Jamie's chicken and grits dish was so flavorful. We'd have a really hard time ordering anything else if we came back, and we would definitely recommend Harry's. Now, if you'd recommend this video, we would love it if you'd share it with a friend or maybe even a random acquaintance, or just hit that thumbs up or hype button, because each time you do that, it does really help this video get out to a wider audience and helps us keep making more Florida episodes. Next, we're heading back to our hotel and we'll meet back up with you in the morning.
We are starting our day here at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala. It is the largest indoor-outdoor equestrian facility in the world. It sits on around 2,000 acres and can stable almost 3,000 horses. And there's actually a competition going on here, including one right behind me. On this massive property, you will find the 5-star Equestrian Hotel, and we did briefly look into staying there for this trip, but it was a little bit out of our budget. They do have a patisserie on site, so we decided to stop in for some coffee so we could peek around the hotel a bit. The lobby was very luxurious, and we found out they have several restaurants and shops on site, and that patisserie was very popular. We both got lattes, and we thought they were really good, but you really have to go there for the pastries. We went with one of their signature croissants that was stuffed with Boston cream. The chocolate on top was rich and creamy. The croissant itself was crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle, and that Boston cream was really good.
We decided to enjoy our coffees and croissant while taking in one of these equestrian events, and it's actually pretty cool, although we have no idea how the scoring works. Now, I was planning on only having one bite of Jamie's croissant because we did eat so much yesterday, and I also enjoyed the complimentary breakfast at the hotel this morning, but once I had that one bite and realized how good that thing is, I did have to have a few more. Worth $30.
It was not $30. It was a little pricey, but it is really good.
It is massive too. Now we were planning on just grabbing those coffees and a snack and checking out the horses a little bit, but when we were driving through the property, we realized that there is an RV event going on in one of the convention centers here, and we do have a little time to kill. Plus, I think we've always been a little bit interested in the RV life, so I think we're gonna check that out and we'll see if it inspires us to become an RVing channel someday.
Skylar's going in to check out the first RV.
So I know nothing about RVs. I've probably only been in a couple RVs in my life. I do know that if we're ever gonna get one, we'd want one that we're gonna be able to edit in. I like this because this table's pretty big. It does have seat belts, so I imagine while one of us is driving, the other one could be sitting here working. So maybe we could make this one work. So we found the price of this thing after we got out of it, and a little bit of sticker shock. It's 120,000 bucks. So now we're on a mission to find some actual vans and also probably check out one of these massive RVs that are like $300,000. So Jamie found one of the most expensive RVs. This one is way out of our budget, so hopefully she doesn't like it too much.
This one is very spacious. They even have a full-size fridge in here. I'm guessing this is the bathroom? Ooh, yeah. Not bigger than a cruise ship bathroom, but spacious for an RV bathroom, I'd say. So that thing was really nice, but I wouldn't want to drive that anywhere. It's huge.
Now we did find the van section, and I'm honestly not even sure if such a thing exists, but the ideal van life situation for us would be a four-wheel drive van that we could take up in the mountains and pretty much anywhere we want, but also would have enough space in it to comfortably edit our videos. We'll see if we can find it.
So we don't think this one is four-wheel drive, but we do kind of like the setup. It's got these extra seats that have seat belts and this thing back here which we think you could attach a table to. So if we could find something like this with four-wheel drive, I think we can make it happen.
So I think we might have found the one. This one is four-wheel drive. It does have some seats with seat belts with a lot of space to put a table. It's got a nice shower that I wouldn't have to bend over in. The bed wouldn't require much conversion each night to sleep in. I really do like this one, but it is $160,000. Not sure if that's quite in the budget, but maybe we could talk them down a little.
We were supposed to be getting ready to leave, but looks like Skylar's talking to somebody about this thing again. So we just left the RV show, and traveling in an RV or van is something we've thrown around from time to time. But now that we've been in some models that we think actually would kind of align with the way that we would need to travel, I think we'd be open to considering it a little bit more. So if you'd at all be interested in down the road seeing us travel in a van or an RV to explore more of Florida, more of the United States and beyond, let us know that in the comments. And if you wouldn't be interested in that and just want us to do more of what we've been doing, then let us know that in the comments too. We already spotted a gator. We're trying to figure out if...
I'd say he's real.
I was just trying to figure out if he was real or a statue. He was definitely real.
We've made it to our next stop, Silver Springs State Park, which is located right on the northeast edge of Ocala. We have been to this park before. We went out on a glass bottom boat, which was a lot of fun, but today I think we're gonna go out on a kayak and hopefully spot a few of those monkeys.
So the staff at the booth at the main entrance let us know we had to walk over this way to the paddlecraft area, which is on the other side of the parking lot. We finally made it out on the water. We're only gonna have about 50 minutes out here because we spent a little too much time looking at those RVs, but we're gonna make the most of the time that we have and try to find some of those monkeys. So if you're only out here for about an hour, they do recommend you go right and you're gonna go out and back, but we're gonna go this way. This will take you to the big spring area. It just seemed a lot less busy over here. We are visiting during spring break, so it is extra busy today. You can reserve paddlecraft ahead of time, or you can do it on site here. We were able to scan a QR code and get a time slot pretty quickly. We've already made it to the main spring area. There's one of those glass bottom boats that we went out on previously. If you can plan ahead to reserve your paddlecraft, we would recommend that because there was a separate line if you already had a reservation, and that one moved much quicker.
Now we are out here in mid-March, and from what we've heard, most of the manatees have left the springs and gone back to the Gulf because it is starting to warm up. But it does sound like a few of them are still hanging around out in the springs, so if we have any luck, we could still see one. Now, if you're not that comfortable on a kayak or just really don't know where to go and would rather have a guide, you can book a guided tour here as well. And as you can see over there, that one does have quite a bit of people on it. Now it does seem a little bit strange on this paddle because usually when we're out paddling on springs, we're looking into the water, trying to spot a manatee, a turtle, a fish. But this time we're actually spending most of our time staring up in the trees trying to spot those monkeys. No luck yet though, unfortunately.
So this is the path I was talking about earlier that was really busy. Skylar says he thinks that we timed this right because now this is much less busy than it was earlier. No monkeys so far. You can see from here there are a bunch of hiking trails in this park too. So you do have the chance to see the monkeys even if you're just hiking and you don't want to get out on the water. Since that launch area was so crazy, I was not expecting it to be so peaceful here. Turtle!
Oh yeah. Nice.
Ah!
So we just spotted a gator over there. We got a big family of turtles up in front of us. And up there in the distance, Jamie's pretty sure she just spotted a manatee nose. Still no monkeys, but not bad for only being out on the water for like 20 minutes. I think we already got to start heading back though.
We're not sure if that's a person making a monkey noise or if that was a monkey sound.
That's a really good monkey call.
Yeah, that was
that's
good.
You? Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Oh, that's so funny. After we heard that noise, we had a parent tell us that it was her son that was making the monkey noises from that bridge up there.
It was so realistic sounding. That kid has a talent.
Yeah. The launch still looks pretty busy.
Our next stop honestly doesn't even feel like it's in Florida. We're here at the Canyon Zipline and Adventure Park. It's located just a few miles north of downtown Ocala. It's built inside a massive 100-acre limestone quarry from the 1920s. While it's definitely most well known for its ziplining, you can also go hiking, kayaking, horseback riding, or even gem mining here. But speaking of ziplines, we're actually going to be going on 9 of them today because we booked the Big Cliff Canyon Tour. And one of those ziplines is actually 1,100 feet long, which makes it the longest zipline in all of Florida and the longest zip line over water in the entire United States. We'll see you out there. So currently our group is doing what I would call the bunny zip line, just to kind of learn how the equipment works. You pass?
Yeah, time to go. So our guide just said that this one is about 5 miles per hour, but the next one is going to be 10 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So this next one is up to 25 miles per hour. That was the real deal. We're already starting to get some cool views up here. You can see the water down below.
For the 4th zip line, we are going way up in the trees. We've been on some pretty cool zip lines before, but this one looks like another level.
Oh my gosh, this next one looks intense. Our guide said that that zip line was 650 feet long and the first one over water.
So that last one was zip line number 5. It was by far the best, and I think that means we have 4 to go. And I think the longest one they said is number 7, so we're getting close.
We made it to the point of no return after this zip. There's no stairs down, and the next one is the longest zip line.
So this is zip line number 7. It's the longest one at 1,100 feet. I think you said it starts at 130 feet and gets all the way down to just 10 feet above the water, and it goes 60 miles per hour.
This one looks really scary.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know, I'm actually really nervous for this one.
So now we're on zip line number 8, and it's the one zip line where you're actually encouraged to run and jump off. So I'm pretty excited for this one.
Now, while we're waiting for this second to last zip line, we do have to thank the Canyon Zipline and Adventure Park for hosting us today. If you want to book your own adventure here, then go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the video description. We would highly recommend any of their zipline tours, but they also have other options like Skylar mentioned earlier.
We are on our way to the 9th and final zip line, and you do get to walk across this really cool rope bridge. We just want to enjoy this one. We're not going to film it. So if you want to see what this one looks like, you're going to have to book this adventure for yourself. We'll see you on the ground. So we've made it back down to the ground, and we knew that was going to be a lot of fun, but we got to say that experience exceeded our expectations. The full tour was over 2 hours long, but it went by so fast because you're constantly just taking in beautiful views or going down an adrenaline pumping zip line. We got to thank our guides Ivan and Alana for helping make it so enjoyable, and we absolutely would recommend that activity for anyone who's not afraid of heights or who wants to overcome their fear of heights. Now, if you're wondering why my voice sounds like this, it is because I was yelling when I was going down all those zip lines, and not because I just smoked 5 packs of cigarettes. But anyway, if you happen to tune into our recent live stream, you may recall that we gave a few hints about where we'd be filming today. But as of now, that live stream actually hasn't happened yet, so we don't know who guessed where we'd be filming today correctly. So I'm gonna turn it over to Jamie from the future to let you know.
The first 3 of you who guessed that we'd be filming in Ocala today were Chip Harbin, Ann Bonnie, and Jean Hinders. We gotta thank each of you who tuned into our live stream and took the time to guess. Now, just like this episode, our next one will be full of thrills, and while we won't be venturing far from home, it may just feel like we've taken you to Africa. Be sure to put your best guess in the comments. Now, we do hope that you enjoyed exploring Ocala with us, and we do understand why so many people are moving here and why it's the fastest growing city in the United States. Now, if you don't want to miss more episodes like this on our channel, make sure you're subscribed and turn those notifications on. Thanks for watching.